That's right, I am Kira.
Alejandro, I like how you can actually do that in real life and the jump down as well. You're nimble.
It's very comfortable. And my powers of deduction are increased by approximately 37%.
The first thing I have to ask is, how has Comic-Con been for you guys? How's it been the weekend so far?
Spectacular.
It's been a lovely weekend, and it's great to get over across the pond again. It's been a long time, almost a decade for me, just personally. And to mix business with pleasure is always great.
I loved it. I came early. I was here Sunday for a few days, so it was wonderful to visit London and then have 3 days of California to end the trip. What's going on here, you guys? Crazy.
I'd say we brought the weather with us, but we come from Vancouver, Canada, so I'm not sure that's accurate. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, hey, nice to see you over there. Canadian, right on.
Sorry about our accents. Hope you can understand us okay.
So, all those years ago, did you think you'd be in the UK still talking about Death Note?
Never. Not in a million years. 20 years ago that we recorded this.
No, for sure. When we were doing it, I thought, this is a cool show. I would watch this. This is fun. And there was... that is not always the case with gigs. Sometimes they're really just gigs. But this was intriguing and fun and clearly different. And I remember when they came in and recorded us doing some behind the scenes and then interviewed us, and I was like, this is weird. Cartoons don't normally do this. It definitely felt like a little bit different, but never in a million years. 20 years later to be talking about it, and for it seemingly to be more popular than ever, is just incredible, truly. So
that is something. There's something very special and unique about Death Note, that it seems like it was very popular when it first came out so long ago, but it's almost gaining in popularity as the years go by, because more and more people are discovering it on purpose or by accident, or because a family member or a friend keeps pushing it on them. But usually if somebody watches one episode of Death Note, they kind of get hooked. And that can't be said for all of the other series that we've worked on collectively. So there's something pretty wonderful about Death Note. And the people that it finds.
And the craziness of rolling into town here and seeing, you guys now are going to have a musical this summer. Which we so wish that we could have been here just a little bit later to be even around when the rehearsals start, which don't start until mid-June. But we can't wait for our opportunity to see it down the road, because it's got fabulous bangers of songs. Yeah, I'll tell you.
The fact that you guys are getting it before we're getting a chance to watch it is just seemingly so unfair.
Yes.
Where is the justice? Thank you.
Yes,
thank
yes.
Boo.
No.
You've mentioned the musical, which I'm also... Are you excited for the musical?
We'll see.
How many of you already have your tickets?
So jealous.
Half?
Yeah.
And Death Note, of course, the musical was mentioned, like we were saying, it's been turned into a Simpsons episode. Loads of things. So what's your favourite thing that you've seen that's happened because of Death Note?
Oh, the American live-action movie was the...
Oh, God. No, don't remind us.
I'm sorry. Willem Dafoe was great.
He was.
Rest of the movie, yikes. But, what's been my favorite thing? I think I was probably the most excited when that Simpsons episode came out, because as a massive Simpsons fan myself, to know that the amount of suggestions every year that will cross their table of what to do with their Treehouse of Horror episode every year, and for it to make the top of the pile, and those animators and writers will go, yeah, definitely. Just us knowing that they all know this show and wanted to do a spin-off knockoff of it, I was like, that made me feel actually just really tickled that they did that, and it was really fun, little episode too.
Especially so many years after the show had been released. The idea that it still had this staying power, that they're like, okay, now we can do a little tribute to Death Note on The Simpsons, was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I think I realized that it was becoming a thing again, or maybe had never gone away. We had just started doing conventions again about 3 years ago, all in America exclusively at that point. And it was around Halloween, and there was a picture of Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox cosplaying as Ryuk and Misa, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I guess this is a fun.
That's mad, just seeing the cosplays of people that you're like, oh, you're like cosplays, that's awesome. So when it started picking up speed, when you started noticing people actually paying attention to this show, how did it feel for you guys?
How did it feel for us once we noticed that it was really picking up speed? Well, it's fun. When it first came out, there was a big blast of attention on it when it initially came out, so I knew it was still quite popular. I was doing a few conventions in the early 2010s, mostly for Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta. I would sign a lot of stuff for Vegeta, but the odd person would come by, I loved your Death Note. And then that really started to grow when the series came out. But I think it really became the most apparent and the most exciting for us when Netflix got a hold of it and kind of allowed anybody to watch it, binge it, see it at any time. They didn't have to wait a week for an episode. You could just get through it in 3 days. Really, it's a short series, and it brought so many people that had no idea it even existed and thought it was new. Like, there's nothing really that puts a date on it when you watch it, and that was really exciting for me when that happened, because when we originally do these shows, like AJ said, we never have an idea what's sometimes going to be a great one and what isn't. We hope everything that we work on will be a hit, but this one, it's nice to see it still have such a resonating effect with so many people in North America and around the world.
I've been to a handful of conventions kind of around the time that it came out, and I remember going to one after Death Note had been released, and I'm like, oh, cosplayers doing Death Note, cool. So I started counting. There was 3 Ryuks, 10 Misas, 5 Lights. I stopped counting L's at about 73. It was L.
Low impact and very comfy cosplay. That's good.
Hard on the feet if you're not wearing shoes, though. And hard on the waistline if you're consuming only candy.
For me, I thought it was a joke. I did not think it was real. When I got this call from someone in the United States saying, hey, Brian put me in touch with you. I'd like you to come down to California for this convention. I didn't believe it. I thought I had such low expectations. Partly because I think I was completely unaware of how mainstream anime had become by then. My kids were younger and hadn't started watching it themselves yet. So I was like, okay, it's a free trip to LA. I guess I'll fly down and see some pals. And then the reception that we got, I mean, you guys can maybe imagine, and it's maybe similar to what this lovely reception is here, because it's our first time in Europe ever as a band. Our first time in America ever as a band, going down to LA, it was insane. There was the amount of people that came to meet us, so that was the wake-up call, and it's enormously gratifying, of course.
I think you touched on the theming of Death Note and how it's still so relevant today, which is good and bad. So, what themes do you think are still relevant now? That's like I said, it's good that it's still being spoken about because it's awesome, but also, are we still doing that?
Well, humans are still very interesting. We make a lot of interesting choices, don't we?
I'm not sure if it's like a testament to the quality of the series, that it's still relevant, 20 years later, or if as a society we really have not evolved that much in the last 20 years, so that's why it's still completely relevant. But it is a series that really opens up lines of questioning about morality and ethics and stuff like that, and that doesn't seem to go away. And we're still having these conversations today, like the show just came out yesterday, which is pretty unique and wonderful.
As wild as the stuff that Light actually does in this series, we've always been attracted in film and stage to rooting for the criminal in many elements. Like there's a million bank heist movies we've all watched, and Ocean's 11, whatever it may be. No, we don't all think it's an excellent idea to rob a casino or rob a bank, but you root for them in these characters and these lives that they have, and you find some justification. You just don't want them to get caught. In real life, maybe yeah, you would, but not in film. So it's fun to sort of live in that fantasy world of what if I could rob a bank like those guys, or what if I had a book that I could just erase that person with just. You know, there's a bit of that sort of goes through our mind, and you can live it just through watching the series or watching the film.
Yeah, I've said this to lots of people who've come to meet me over the years at my table, but I believe it. Death Note has so much within it that can appeal to so many different fandoms. It has so many different genres that it's kind of like this cool melange of, and then it's also extremely brief and digestible. So many people come up and say, it's the first anime I ever watched, it's the first grown-up anime I ever saw, it was my gateway drug to the rest of my life's habit. You know, like it is a quick, digestible, and extremely dense and deep and rich world that it creates. It leaves you wanting more. I wish there was more.
And for that reason, I'm not sure if we're supposed to say, you're welcome, or I am so sorry. We've opened up this world of more anime to a lot of people, and that can be very difficult, especially on the pocketbook.
I'm gonna start to go to fan questions. Does anybody have questions? 1, 2. So there's a mic. Oh, lovely. There's a spotlight on a mic right there. Do you want to start queuing up? I'm gonna